Top of the day, beautiful people. I don't know if you can see me, but I think you can hear me. Thank you for being here. You are tuned into the lovely ASADAH Says podcast. I have a with wonderful people. But before I start, you got to know about the female solution because that's where I am. Thank you, Nice. We'll be right back.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the female solution.
Video, see the beauty of this couple. I really just how they come together. Well, just sit to an Amandilo. Oh my God. Come on. You mean tell me a brother gonna go to the continent to get some love? We gonna bring on the real couple right now because ooh hey Hercules, Jacinta and Amandilo, how are you?
We're great. Nice to be here.
I love that you're here. But just so you know, those of you watching, we're going through some technical difficulties, and so it's a that they are warping the airwaves big time. I love it. So, can you guys hear me good?
We can hear you fine.
Let me move you over. Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, I'm gonna let myself. I'm gonna just ask you questions, and you rock and roll. So, talk to us, please. Let us know how did this happen. We watched it, but just share with us how did this encounter come to fruition.
Well, it was quite an amazing chain of events, I must say. I still wake up every morning pinching myself, asking, did this really happen? But when I hold these two little babies in my arms that we were blessed with, it all comes very real. But it started out very simply with, um, as you know, my main uh, area of expertise is in video production, and I happen to be working with um, one of my top clients, Blacks in Green, Naomi Davis. We've been working together for over a decade, and she had just won an award for a design that she had worked on with the internationally renowned architect Michael Sorkin, based out of New York. Passed away during the COVID pandemic. But the design that they came up with is a four flat building, which Blacks and Greens hopes to construct and pretty much make available throughout the Woodlawn area sometime in the next few years. But at any rate, Naomi won this award. It was $100,000 prize, as well as a trip to Venice, Italy. And she asked me, did I want to go to document the event? And I said, I got to check my schedule and see if I'm available. Of course, I jumped on the opportunity. And it was an incredible experience. My first time um, out of the US, across the waters. And yeah, I was just really excited about it. But boy, did I had no clue as to what was waiting for me on the other side of that trip. And that's when Jacinta and I met. So, Jacinta, tell us how you ended up in that same place I was at during that time.
I'm Jacinta. So I am a civil engineer by profession. So I worked on a project. I was a co-author with my other colleague called Joseph Chigozi. At that time, I was working with Prom Consultants. It's an engineering consulting firm in Uganda. So we prepared a paper about the urban movement in the city and more to the non non-motorized transportation. So that paper got a surprise from the Middle East Africa group, and because it was COVID, so the travel was very restricted. And the embassy, I mean, that's the Italian embassy, gave me a visa that was only valid for 72 hours. So you can imagine within 72 hours, the last thing you can think is, meeting someone you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So, but when I got to Italy, unfortunately, my colleague Joseph could not come could not come to Italy because of the travel restrictions. That is, he went through Dubai. So from Dubai to Italy, there was,
A ban,
a
right?
ban. Yes,
Right.
you could not enter because of the whole COVID restrictions. Myself, I went through Brussels, so it was quite easy for me to get into Italy.
So they stopped him in Dubai, made him go back.
So he had been in Dubai, so he could not board the flight from Dubai to Italy. So
Wow.
from after he had an event in Dubai. So that caused the whole, you know. But on my side, I was there, and somehow because I was by myself for most of that time, then that's how I met my husband, and we connected, had one evening of dinner. The next day, we took a tour around Venice, visited different places that were close to the venue and to the hotel where we stayed. And as they say, the rest is history. I'm happily married, two beautiful daughters together. We have a family of three um, beautiful kids, a son and two daughters. So we are happy, and
Hmm.
I thank God that we met.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to have that moment walking around Venice, Italy, and just taking in the sights. It is a very romantic city. Fortunately, we were in the off season, so it wasn't flooded with tourists. So we had a chance to really kind of take it in a peaceful and non-intense kind of way. And yeah, we just connected. It just clicked. Um, and but she was leaving. You know, we went and had lunch and talked, but then she had to go start packing and getting ready to leave that night at 2 in the morning. And I, like the gentleman that I hoped people see in me, said I would help her with her luggage to take it to and they have water taxis, so we had to take it down to the dock so that it could get on the boat and they could take her to the airport. So we talked a little bit on the phone back and forth, waiting for her um, time to leave, and went up there. And in fact, it was funny because the bellhop was like saying he was going to come and take her luggage and stuff. And I said, no, it's okay. I got it. And he was real insistent, kept saying he was, no, no, no. We got like, he just had to do this.
I
This
got
is
it.
job. It was like, no, no, I got this, man. You know. So he went and got the car. He's coming up there. And so when we finally got to her door, I said, okay, I'm good now. So I insisted he leave. And so I knocked on the door, and there she was looking all beautiful and just, just feeling that energy. And we just, briefly hugged, and just for some reason, I gave her a light kiss. Uh, and she kind of kissed me back. And I said, okay, maybe there's something here. So, and it was very innocent. I mean, it was more friendly than romantic, I mean, we didn't have time for anything else, of course. So, but we stayed in touch. We ended up having a Facebook romance, 9,000 miles apart. And I think it was in April. Um, that was in November when we were in
Wow.
Venice. So January, February, March, April, 4 months later, we finally got a chance to be together. And the
Wow.
anticipation and tension that built up over that time, it just, bam, we just really connected. And I was like, hey, let's get married. So
I love it. Well, now first of all, I want to talk about the dude. Stop blocking. Get on out of here.
I tell me
Don't you
about it.
see I'm trying to pick up this luggage? So get yourself. But look,
Yeah.
but look, Jacinta, he could say all he want. It was a friendly kiss, right? But I know Amandilo. I ain't never seen him kiss nobody. Never. So if look, if he put them smackaroos on you, baby, I don't care how light it was. That man had an interest because he don't be putting his lips on nobody. He may not hardly even hug yours. So the sisters be wanting him to get a hug. They not getting no hug. So go ahead, sister. You put the Aquarian whammy on the brother. I love it so much. So much. We got a comment already. Let me see what people talking about up here. I think it's a little. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. We got a comment. This looks like a long one. Hold on. It says, "You
Bella, how
know,
you doing,
love
sis?
is real whenever you encounter this couple." And it seems something good was happening when I ran into Amandilo Kuzan, and his spirit was so overworking seriously. It says, was one you saw she saw one of happiness. She said, "Look at them, and they are just lovely. Love and marriage." Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Senator Bella.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Let me tell you, sister. Woo, let me tell you, Jacinta. Yeah, the energy is so appreciated that you have brought to this brother Amandilo. And the thing I want to say is, he's out here working, and we're all out here working, but it's nice when you can find somebody who can handle your magnitude. You understand? You dealing with somebody who the community reveres, and when you're the person that can help, bring joy to that person, bravo. Bravo. We love it so much. So, you guys, I love the intro video. You came and you're here now. You're here in America. I'm not going to go through any of the trials like, we got to go through this. I don't care about that. But I do want to talk about Amandilo and
Mhm.
that make the connect. We like to hear what's in a man's mind. Like, how did you know that Jacinta was the one?
Well, there was a lot of different points of
Could you hear that
clarity.
question that I just asked?
Yes, yes, I did. I did. And I was saying that there were several points that
Okay.
really moved me to see that this was a woman of great quality and someone that I felt could really complement um, me as a person, as a man, as a friend, as a lover. And one of the first ones was when we were walking around Venice, Italy, and just taking in the sights. Venice is built around these various cathedrals, and they anchor the various parts of the city. And we were walking past one of them, and she stopped and said, "Let's go say a prayer." And so this was a woman I just met, and for me being someone who is very deeply spiritual, that really touched me. I said, "Wow, this is a nice to see that kind of quality for someone to feel that comfortable and open about just saying a prayer." And we went up the stairs of the cathedral and we just prayed, and she prayed for those that were less fortunate. It was just a very special kind of moment that we connected on. And then when I did finally get a chance to go to Uganda and touch down in Africa for the first time, we she had planned the whole time that I would be there, and it was just really great. Everything was such well organized. That was something that really touched me as well because being a person who is very involved in a lot of different activities and professional kind of situations. Um, Structure and organization is something that I find very attractive in anybody, but particularly in a woman. And she was just, and it was smooth. It wasn't like intense kind of. We got to go here, here, and here. But it was just, you could tell she had really thought about our time together and tried to make it as comfortable for me as possible. And then to top it all off, I'd already known that she was a great engineer and a professional. But one of our trips that we took was to a part of Uganda called Jinja, and that's where the source of the Nile is, the actual part of the world where the waters come down out of the mountains and start the flow of the Nile all the way up north and to Egypt. And so she happened to work on the bridge that was built between Uganda and Kenya, which was opening up a whole new area of commerce because most of their goods are transported by truck. So this bridge was a critical artery for this kind of work, and she was one of the main engineers that worked on that bridge. And I was like, man, this was very impressive. You saw some scenes of it in that opening video, and we had a chance to take a boat trip around the Lake Victoria, where the waters of the Nile begin. And so it was just all of those things. And I could go on and on and on about how great a mother she is, meeting her son, and just how well mannered he was, and just the bond that they had. All of these things just added up to, oh, yeah, you ain't going nowhere.
Look. I mean, wow. We're not talking about small people here, guys. She's an engineer. What? Building bridges. Who finds that? Like,
Yes.
who is that? Like, I don't even know anybody like that till now, right? So that's, and you have to be a woman of that stature to even attract a brother like this. But like, you can't be some petty little woman, nothing, so I'm so happy that, you were there, and I'm happy that I'm loving that story around Let's Go Pray. Woo! When you connect with somebody that you really can relate to spiritually, I think that is so intense. Now, Jacinta, how did you know this man was the one? How did you know?
Oh, Amandilo, from the moment we met, he is one person, who talked very passionately about his family. And for me, being that I was already a mother, something that is family means so much to me. And so, with by him sharing his family stories about his children, about his sisters, brothers, and then also he built, a whole strong community of people that he works for, but he never takes them for granted. I felt that, this is the person that will love and care for our family. And from that, honestly, I can't think of so many other things apart from that one thing that, was very outstanding. Then he's very loving. Oh, Mandela. He would really, really support me from so many miles away when I was, because I used to work, every day, have to take care of my son. But he would, emotionally support me, call me, text me, reach out. And then he made me feel so loved. He would always, say, oh, you do so well. You're a good mother. You do your work so well. So all that kind of support emotionally was very, very, um, it changed my life in ways I can't explain. And I truly thank you so much, Amandilo, for always saying the best in me. Because I mean, when we are back home and someone's like, "Oh, I'm talking to someone from America," it feels very, it feels big. Like, how can someone take that time? I mean, I'm just a simple girl in Uganda.
Yeah.
So, but he made me feel so special, and
And
yeah, today he still, says good things about me, and I'm
Oh yeah. It's all from the heart. Believe that.
really grateful. Yeah.
I love it. Look, we need a movie. We need a movie. We need a movie. I feel a movie. Look, we have makings. We have a video person. We can make the movie. I love that. And
And we
so,
have lots of footage.
what would you say people should? I know you do. I know you do. What would you say people should learn or could learn from the way you came together? Because some people talk about a long distance relationship. You can't get longer than this relationship. You really had to make a decision. You're not just a plane ride away for hours. We're talking about continents away. What would you say What made you all persevere and make the decision like we are gonna make this work?
Well, speaking for
Were you
myself,
all able to hear that question? Okay.
yes, yes, we were.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking for myself, and good question, Asada,
Okay.
because I've heard that question often when we started to share with family and friends that we were in a serious relationship. And for me, people would often ask, "Well, are you going to move there, or is she going to move here?" And I said, "Well, we're building a bridge." I said, I'm marrying a civil engineer, and that's what we do." So, and the beauty of it is that we live in a world, a planet where transportation is, hey, it's just a thing. Any part of the globe is just a few hours away from any other part. And so, if you're really serious about anything you want to do, hey, there's a whole planet out here. And we are fortunate to live in an age where communication, Facebook, boy, that really, as much as I have no love for the people that run that particular organization, the tool itself was a godsend for us in terms of being able to stay in touch with each other, instantly have video calls to basically, I mean, it never felt like we were apart to me. I mean, it felt like, we were living together. We just weren't physically in the same place, but that connection was so strong that, and boy, I don't know how
Okay.
it worked out. I look back on it now and think, man, all them trips back and forth to Africa, I think I made at least 9 or 10 trips back and forth between the time we left Venice
Wow.
until the time Jacinta finally was able to come here and establish, permanent residency. So, yeah, like I said, we're building bridges. We definitely feel very close to Kampala and Uganda, the whole East African region. And so, yeah, we definitely look forward to in the next few years to be able to reestablish some presence there as well. Jacinta has an incredible family network there, and I really want our kids to be able
Okay.
to be a part of that.
On my side, I think it was more of sacrifice, because being in
Okay.
different
Look, let me tell
mindset.
you. Look, and
Yeah, I think there's a delay. So
no, I want to make sure that you hear me and I hear you. And I want to say this too. I know you're a family. If you need to get any of my babies in this frame, I don't care. Like if you need to get the baby and talk to me with the baby, that's okay with me because I love the whole family. So you ain't got to be like, we're on camera. No, we know you are parents. So go ahead if you need to. But go ahead, Jacinta. I don't want to interrupt what you were saying.
I was saying that also sacrifice is one thing that keeps the whole
Were
long
you
distance.
were you go ahead.
Because being so many miles apart and different time zones, because we're 9 hours apart, so you have to, we both had to make sacrifices that while he's supposed to be sleeping, he could spare a couple of minutes for us to catch up on, on that day. While he has, busy schedule and I have a busy schedule back home, in terms of work, we could spare time to speak and, speak very freely about things that we want to discuss. No hiding, we had no secrets. We had to really, really discuss everything, how we felt, because long distance comes with so many emotions and all. But the way I felt that day, the way he felt, was very important. That we could not, be hiding anything. So I thank him again for being very accommodative, because sometimes I would call me, maybe I'm going to work, so I would call, and that is the time he's coming back from a very, very big job. And you can imagine he's always on his feet while he's working. Like instead of sleeping, then he has to spare at
Okay.
least half an hour to talk to me. So it was a lot of sacrifices that he and I made. So
Yeah, I remember those
Got
early
you.
morning and late night calls, boy. That was
I
something.
love it. He said late night call. Look,
Yeah,
time zones, time zones.
yeah.
So
yeah.
we're gonna go to a commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We're gonna go to a commercial break, but you guys stay tuned for this beautiful story. I don't care how choppy the internet is. We getting through it, baby. We are
Yes,
telling
we
this story. But yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages, guys. Stay tuned. Great day. It's your girl ASADAH here to introduce a new female solution show called ASADAH Says. That's right. Every month we're going to talk about everything I am, from cryptocurrency and financial security to good health and parenting strategies. Come on and talk with me every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And let's do that thing the way ASADAH says it should be done. See you then. Peace right here on the Female Solution.
When you see Black children misbehaving in public, being loud, disrespectful, and destructive, do you think to yourself, what they need is a good beating? That's what's wrong with these parents. They don't know how to discipline their children. Were you disciplined in that way? And did your parents also call you stupid, ignorant, and lazy? Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people
Well,
around the world who are using
I'm
an
not
electronic
sure
device to
about
talk to
what's
people.
happening technologically.
In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody: friends, neighbors, family members, co workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money. And we are
Yo, 2 years since I met you, 1 year dating now. I'm ready for forever. Everybody got to know you. Maybe you know, no say me, I be there plan to marry you. No be holiday too, I already know I go wife you. It be like you go dey tender, you go dey tender, you go dey tender. If I start to dey hot, you go put temper. It be like you go get fire, you go get fire, you go get fire. If I start to dey go, you go bring fire. Animal be there, it dey hard to find. You know they see I'm for all. One came alone, man, and they go. It dey hard to find. You know they see I'm for all. Get some for money, get some for money. One for the I get some for money, I get some for money. One can live.
saw that, I was like, who is this black Barbie doll? What is happening right now? Let me bring my couple back to the stage. All right, Amandilo and Jacinta, thank you so much for being here. Oh, we got a present. We got a present.
Yes,
We got a
this
present,
is
got a present, got a
Jariah.
present. Who is that? Let me see who
This is
that is. Tell us who
Jariah.
that is.
Yeah, this is baby Jariah. She was born October 6th of last year, and she is quite the ball of energy. Say hello to the
Nice.
people, Jariah. So, yep. So she is crawling and standing and
Look,
about
I heard in
2
the background.
seconds away from
Look,
walking.
she like, what? My debut? I literally, when I heard her, I was like, go get the
Yeah,
baby. Go get her. Bring her in
yeah.
the mix. She does not have to be somewhere else. So, you go ahead, talk to me about my baby. What you
Yeah,
say?
no, she has her own time schedule, and she lets us know when she needs us. So,
I love it. I love it. So now talk about Amandilo. I want to hear what it felt like for you to have to embrace, whoa, a whole African culture. You are not just walking up and just like, hey girl, let me talk to you. No, you got to embrace the culture. We saw in the video a little bit of it. What was really new to you? Because, marriage is not new to you, a family's not new to you, but what was new to you about this experience?
man, great question, ASADAH. And I would say right off the bat was the fact that I was dealing in an environment of a people that were not impacted by the transatlantic slave trade. I in Uganda, which is one of the few countries in Africa that didn't really experience the devastation that a lot of other areas felt when they were colonized by European exploiters, trying to basically squeeze every nickel they could out of the resources and out of the people. Uganda did have some issues with British colonization, but their basic societal structure was never disrupted like it was in other places. And so there was a sense of tradition that went back hundreds, even thousands of years. And it was very strong there. I mean, the land is like, man, the people are really connected to the land. They're really connected to their uh, royal traditions. They have a king and a queen that they revere, which is distinct from the political government, which, they have a president and so forth. But in Jacinta's culture, the people of Buganda, is that the
Yes,
right?
Uganda.
They have their own, um, you know, traditions that go back a very long way. The king is called the Kabaka, and they revere him with great respect. And it's a love. It's not like hey, I'm ruling over you, and you better worship me. It's just the fact that they realize this um, king and queen represent the traditions of the people, and again, that connection to the land was very powerful, and by extension, the family was very important. The family structure and the fact that there had to be a bride price, a dowry, if you will, that was very much expected, and hey, I had to come and be very much representing on a very serious level that this daughter of the people that I want to marry is someone of great value, and therefore it's my responsibility to show how serious I am. And hey, it wasn't no if and maybe, and it was like, no, this is the way we do things here. And so, but I loved it because
Right.
that's the way I look at family, and it just made me that much more committed and serious to the process. Um, basically, we think about it in somewhat lighthearted terms when but in a very uh, agricultural
Hmm.
society, things like cows and goats and chickens are great, uh, you know, methods of trade, is what I'm trying to say. And so that was part of the dowry.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah. Yeah.
cows, two goats, four chickens, and various
Mm.
other items that I had to provide and make available to the village as well as to the immediate family. So that was very touching in a way, and it just made me respect all the more how much our family traditions have been disrupted because of the those 400 years of forced labor that we experience here in the Western Hemisphere.
Now we got another comment here. Love that. I love that story because see, in America, we be talking about the motherland, Africa. I got a hair wrap on. No, take your butt over there and really get in it.
Yes,
What you want? You think you want an African sister? You better be ready for what that means. Don't be coming up in here talking about you got on the dashiki. We're not doing that. Let me just
that's
show
right.
this comment. Let me see here. It says here, I think this is Bella, and it says, does your marriage help you feel more connected to Africa? And how does it provide more foundational support to you as an American born man?
Yeah,
Now that's a question I want you to answer, but I do want to hear from Jacinta for a minute. And we'll come back to that because Jacinta, I want to know from you what's new to you. You in America now, and you in our little world of whatever. And so, what's been new to you in terms of shaping how you operate as a married woman?
Okay. Maybe just by my background before I met my husband, I had really traveled the world. I'm not bragging, but I had really traveled, different parts of the world. So my level of looking at things, is quite different because, when I stayed quite a while in Japan, they have strong culture, you know. Then back in my country, we have a strong culture.
Mm.
Place like Europe, different parts of the world that I visited, the culture was strong. So I was the kind of person, or I'm still the kind of person that is very open minded when it comes to culture and I respect it. So now getting married and coming to America, I definitely have found some things, as a married woman, a bit different. But I'm trying to integrate what I am expected to do as a wife, you know, um, to try to blend the different. Also, some things like being calm, especially like as a wife, I'm expected to be calm. It sounds very, old fashioned, but it's still the way we've been raised. The wife is supposed to be calm. The wife is supposed to listen to the husband. Oh, someone be like, in this day and age, how do you do that? But because it's natural in me being raised like that, even when I'm here, I try to make sure that, at the back of my mind, I remember that this is my husband and I have to, listen. We may disagree, but compromise and meeting halfway. Now, for me, it's all about meeting halfway on things that are maybe extreme in terms of culture or opinion. I always want us to meet halfway because I have what I believe in. He has what he believes in. Things like, also raising the kids. How do we, try to see that my principles as an African mom, always say the African mom instincts. Like your mom will just look at you and okay, well here maybe it's trouble. Then well for him it's you have to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
gentle with the kid. So we try to
Mm,
see how best we can, without having to disregard the other person's opinion. So I think my whole open-mindedness and knowing that the world has to, we have to work together as opposed to what I know and what I believe is true. So for me, it's just about being well exposed before I met my husband that is really helping our marriage.
gotcha.
Well,
Nice.
back.
See that? She said, look, she said, I'm not trying to brag. Look, look, it's okay. She said, I'm not trying to brag, but I've been around the world. Thank you very much. So go ahead, Amandila.
Well, and that was another one of those points that really said, man, this woman, I'd be a fool to let this woman go. So, and thank God that it all came together. But back to Cinnabella's point. Um, Fortunately, praise be to God,
Yes.
I was already conditioned to um, really respect Africa. Um, I have known many Africans who have come here, very close friends and colleagues. I've studied about Africa, the liberation movements, and just the history and that was stolen from us. And so I already had a real inclination to really come to Africa with a sense of humble regard and respect. And so when I finally had a chance to experience, again, Africa is huge. It's 1 billion people in Africa with 54 countries at the present and many different uh, types of people and different styles of living. And so I, by no means am any expert. I just saw one small part of it in East Africa, in Uganda, Zimbabwe, in that basic region. Uh, but I will say that um, there's nothing like connecting with people face to face to strip away all of the stereotypes and the uh, prejudices that had been baked into us, particularly here in America. A lot of times we've been shown images of Africa where there's no development. The people are savage. They may even put you in a pot and cook you and eat you and all of this kind of stuff. And even Jacinta, we talked about a lot of the misconceptions and stereotypes of Black people in America, particularly here in Chicago. You know, gangs, thugs, crime, violence, drugs, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm just grateful that I've been able to show her, a much more well-rounded image. Of course, these negative things are true around the world and with all people, but there's so much more to it than that. And again, I've just been blessed, and like I said, we're building bridges. We want to have a relationship that respects our humanity on all levels, and at the same time seeks to build relationships where we can really grow together. I mean, there's so many business opportunities in Africa that we as Black people here, there's so much we could do to help each other if we had better communication. But one thing we see is that a lot of this misconception and stereotype is intentional, because the people who are exploiting Africa see that if we really do connect
Yeah,
with each
yeah.
other, man, we can really grow and do some very powerful things. And so we just have to do it. We don't need anybody's permission. We don't need anybody's. Even we have everything we need to build these kind of relationships. And my hope is that people will just see that.
Good. Now let
That
me ask you. I think definitely setting a wonderful example of that. I love when I saw, I said, oh, wait a minute. Jacinta got a YouTube
Bam.
channel. Wait a minute. Now, I said, I said, you got the video man there. So, Jacinta, you have top-notch production of your channel. So, can you just tell us, because my next question really involves, because believe it or not, we're almost over. I can't believe it. But
Oh,
your knowledge to create a life here in America. Like, what is this union creating now that you're here? Jacinda,
Yes, I think what we're hearing ASADAH say, hi, everybody, I'm Naima. Hey! I think what she's asking is about, because you got the YouTube channel, you got the expert
okay,
videographer there, what is that union creating for you all because of that?
Okay, this union is, oh, actually, maybe just to take a little, when we were, still having we still say dating, I always, imagine that we wanted to work on something that, brings us together, something that where we can both share our knowledge. And now when I started the YouTube channel, that is the one thing that I know that I can do, and he can advise. So when I do the I make my video, he is the expert. So in every so he really comes in to edit, to just make sure everything is done. And then when I go out to shoot, so because sometimes I do content outside our house, so he's always there to help me. Then he also has a drone, so his expertise just complements my work. And that's one thing that I think couples, we should always try to see, like, one thing. If it's about gardening, then let both of you, participate and go to the garden. That, I think usually it happens in the spring, summer, because back home we don't have the season. So I'm trying to make sure I get aligned. So we should always have that one thing, apart from the children, apart from running the household. What can I do as a wife? And I would always, consult with my husband. That really brings, it changes the way we look at life. It may be just a skill, it may be a business, but as long as one of you can ask for the other person's, mind, opinion, it changes the whole setup of marriage, as opposed to being husband, wife, mother and father. But now it's like, what do we
The
say?
business
Expert.
partnership.
This is my expert. Instead of calling a
Yes.
different company or organization, I mean, I have the expert in the house, so that changes the way we live our life.
Oh, but that is exciting. Now, what would you advise for couples who are perhaps trying to do a cross-cultural kind of marriage? Because I know there are cultural differences when you have different kind of memories, like things like holidays here that don't mean anything there, and celebrations that you're used to that they don't have here. How would you advise couples to combine their cultural experiences in order to make a marriage work?
The first thing is, both of us should, the first thing, bottom line, respect. Respect. Once you have the respect, you may not agree with what my culture says, but if I feel strongly about it, just respect the fact that, and then from there discuss and understand how important is it to my husband, how important is it to me, like Christmas. Sometimes I would say my husband doesn't exactly believe in Christmas celebrations and all. But to me, it is something that I have grown up knowing, that Christmas is a special day, special season. And I look at it differently. But It's like, okay, it's important to you. I may not, do everything blown up as you're doing, but I'll let you be, Sometimes just let your partner be if they believe strongly about something that you have no knowledge about, or maybe you doubt, maybe it's not as important as you think. But to me, if it's important, just respect the fact and then we move on.
Well, that's good advice. So now when it comes to child rearing, I guess we're about to go. It's time flies when you're having fun. But when it comes to the culture in which you're going to raise your children and everything, how do you decide what principles, what values, what behaviors that you both can agree on that you're going to bring to the child rearing, and how do you see your children reflecting, I guess, combined culture?
I was going to say, because I see your note, ASADAH, and I would say I would tie that right in. There's such a twisted idea of what manhood is in America.
Yes.
And it's getting more and more twisted as each day we go by. And it's just a matter of just being human, respecting the fact that, look, we all have the same needs. We got to eat, sleep, go to the bathroom. We all have these basic needs that we have, and we need to just connect with people on that level. And then all the other stuff is just, taste and aesthetics and your personal preferences. So as long as there's no abuse and there's no disrespect, then we can work out the rest, and I feel that when it comes to particularly raising children, we have to really just let our children know that they are loved and respected, and they will kind of figure out the rest as they go. The basic discipline is just that. Don't touch the hot stove, don't do this, don't do that. But it's more about just learning how to be human and how to respect each other and how to be the person that you want others to
be. Yeah, I think I'm hearing that I'm hungry cry. So I guess it's time for us to let them go.
Absolutely. Look, here's the deal.
Yep. So I guess she's right on schedule.
I want to thank you, Naima. I want to thank y'all for being here today. It's been so good. If I look back at this show and I see choppiness, I'm bringing you back, just so you know, because I think it's important for people to hear what you have to say and to see why you all work. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, viewers. See you next Tuesday on ASADAH Says. It's a wrap. Have a dynamic day. Yo, Naima, take us out, because I don't know if I push that video. Take us out with that video for Female Solution.
And this is why we say goodbye to the world, because we are international. So here we go.
All right.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiabonga. Senegal, Jaref. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.